Yeah. Look, ours at LSKD is a different challenge and it's a great challenge. We've been talking about this before, but our biggest challenge, and I guess what keeps me up at night, is growth and maintaining culture as we grow. So we're in such a blessed position to be on such a massive growth trajectory here, which is at LSKD. But I guess with that comes, as I mentioned before, how do we grow our team faster than this company is growing and keep the center of values, at the heart of what we do. And of course, separate to that, lots of compliance challenges, the number of fair work cases, general protections claims that are coming through, even with the most immaculate of processes that are followed, maintaining different structure. There's a lot, creating different structures in our teams now as we grow as well. We were just talking about earlier before the podcast, as we grow, our teams, have worked in really broad roles, and as we continue to evolve our business, those roles may become more niche. So, really keeping people along the culture of change and change management, and that change is a positive, is a huge challenge. But at the center and the core of all that is culture and values, and maintaining that, keeping that at the core as we grow.
Is the challenge that the culture naturally gets affected by whatever change you're looking to do because of the growth, or is it something else?
I think it's, as we disperse further and further, it's really easy to hold on to culture when it's nuclear and it's, we're in one spot. As we geographically disperse, there's more likelihood that things can get a little bit diluted. So for us, it's really important to remember our roots, remember where we came from, remember what we stand for, remember that community is centered to everything that we do, and our mission statement of, inspiring our community to be 1% better every day. And that is what we do, because it only takes a couple of, bad eggs, unfortunately, to spoil that sometimes. So making sure that that's at the core of what we do. And I guess the way that we do that, and when I consider the ways to combat that challenge, comes all the way back to recruitment. People we're bringing on, we take a much longer time to recruit team members, to make sure that they're the right fit for us, they're the right, both parties fit together, and being really on top of, performance management, managing our talent, our people processes, and making sure we're respectful all the way to the end of a team member's life cycle too. So making sure all those processes are in without being over-processed and policy for policy's sake, because that's definitely not how we roll. I think that's the reason why when I consider, what does culture, the challenges of growth, that's what culture, keeping it at the center, means.
There's an expansion of the organisation globally, and so your role is going to become a bit more, or at least it's definitely national, but it's becoming more of a global role too.
Yes.
Are you already finding some challenges with that, or is it basically just staying true to the same plan and it's just going to be at a different scale?
Yeah, when we think about, we have expansion and we have a team in the US now, and we've been be careful and intentional our sorts of secondments. So making sure that our team from AU are seconded into positions into the US so that they can really grow and maintain that purity of culture there, and to start that there. And I think as we continue to grow into new countries and new markets, that will be a similar kind of approach and perspective that will, so each country, does have a different culture. And that's the other thing to consider, how do we stay true to who we are, but with, an overarching, what does that look like in Singapore? What does that look like in the UK? That will look very different in the US than it does in New Zealand or Australia. So that will be another journey that we will go on.
It seems like the change management part is definitely a key component, but you're trying to also hold on to the culture, which is very good. To hold on to that culture and somehow to work out how that's going to work when it's basically dispersed, when it's a bit more wide open and not as contained. That seems to be something that you're going to be working on for the foreseeable future, at least.
Yeah, I might be busy for a while. So, but how? How lucky. It's a great plug for us. If you know anyone internationally that's, great.
Just ads coming through this whole podcast. Just ads coming through.